Strike up.
This is James Devine with the Music Ed Podcast. This is episode 255. You are a hero. You turn notes on a page into symphonies of sound. You help individuals who are broken, busted, and disgusted become wonderful instrumentalists and confident young people. My life story in a nutshell. I had an abusive dad. I lived a life of poverty. I was raped by a friend of the family. I was not good at anything. I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't good at anything at all. I felt like my 105-year-old saxophone, scratched, dented, abused. And God used me to create a beautiful symphony of sound into the world. The crazy thing is in sixth grade, I almost didn't join band. We had the choice of being in band or choir or drama or just staying in our homeroom and reading a book. And I love to read, so I decided to stay there. But through the influence of Mr. Dario, my sixth grade band teacher, and my friends, I decided, let me give band a try. And I found out I was good at it, and it built my self-esteem. And Mr. Dario was a kind gentleman who was very encouraging, who demanded excellence, who demanded the best of us, and he helped me to get better. Now, in 7th and 8th grade, I don't particularly remember the names of those band directors. I've tried to rack my brain. I've tried to rack my report cards from that time or tried to find something, but they both had a very positive impact. I had different directors for those years. When I went to high school, the first high school I went to, I was only there for 1 year, and I had Mr. Fitzgerald. He was kind of a rough guy as far as his manner and demeanor with things. It was kind of the old style of band directors, but I learned a lot from him, and I learned a lot about diversity and being included. I was a minority in that school, and Mr. Fitzgerald and the other teachers all treated me just like they treated everybody else. We moved shortly after that, and Mr. Steve Ambrose, or Dr. Steve Ambrose, was my teacher, and he also demanded excellence. He took our band of about 30 students when I was in 10th grade. We became a very large band of several class periods. In 10th grade, we only had 30 students, but we started going to, he was new the same year that I was new at Cox High School when I was there. And we still stay in touch. This was in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We still stay in touch. Music changed my life. It was something I was good at. Found out I was great at it for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I made first chair in that area. We had a regional band. It was Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, Newport News. I believe those 4 cities. Maybe Chesapeake was in there, but we didn't have all city. We had regional band. I never made it into all state, but 1 year I was first alternate. I joined the Army Band and spent 10 years doing that. That really helped my self-esteem to be in an elite group like that. The camaraderie of fellow musicians that I met, the friendships that I made, the skills that I developed over that time. What I learned to do was to speak without words. Because all the troubles of my childhood, they came out through my music. And those directors, through Mr. Dario and the 2 that I can't remember, and Mr. Fitzgerald and Dr. Ambrose, who's still a great friend, those are the people who did that for me. And you do that for your students. Think about the things that we do. We provide a safe space for kids to hang out. We provide an activity where every part is important. I emphasize this to parents a lot. Nobody sits on the bench in band. Every part is important. If there's 8 clarinet players, that bottom chair, 3rd clarinet player is still important and is still contributing to what we do. Just recently that I retired, but I teach halftime at a charter school. I got to start a band program from scratch for them. And I have one young lady who didn't have much self-esteem at all. She reminded me of how I was when I was in 6th grade. Her grandmother caught me before our first concert and talked to me for 10 minutes. She talked to me for 10 minutes. This is making me cry about what an influence I had on this young lady's life and how I lit her up. And there's something that she's good at. And the grandmother just could not stop giving me praises. You do that. You do that for your students. And I want you to, this is just a podcast of encouragement. There's no tips for how to be better in this podcast, but you matter. You make a difference. And I hope you'll subscribe to this podcast and give it a 5-star rating.
The music